Hello, everyone. So good to have you here at our next office hours. I can see Anita is already greeting everyone in the chat. Hello, Charlene. And also Gareth from the UK. That's a good idea. Why don't we get some shout outs of where you're all calling from, too, just so we can sort of see the landscape of where everyone's at. My name's Karen Fazio. I'm one of the coaches for the GTM Momentum Accelerator. And I'm actually calling from a city just outside of Seattle, right near the Redmond Microsoft campus called Kirkland, Washington. So hello everyone from the Pacific Northwest. We got Bellingham. Hi neighbor. Good to see you there. Oh, and a distant neighbor from Madrid, Spain. Javier, good to see you. Yes, Anita, home of Costco. That is absolutely right. All right. Well, I'm very happy to have you all here today. Chaitra won't be joining us today. She's doing some amazing work out in the land of film, doing some work with the Oscars and continuing to push on a narrative of change that we need to see in the ecosystem. So go, Chaitra. Um, what we'll do today is I'll share an agenda. If maybe we can go to the next slide of the things we'll talk about in our office hours, and I want you all to get ready to also participate in this conversation. Bill, we knew her when, yes, exactly. I have learned over the years of knowing Chaitra, gosh, for a while now, that you just hold on to her cape. Like, just that's what you do. You just hold on to your cape and you just let this thing go because she goes into spaces that you would like I certainly don't have the complete imagination for. So yeah, the next story, the next place of unfolding, the next sort of narrative that needs to be directed, I count on Chaitra being there. Yeah, Sherelle, exactly. That's exactly what we do. And let's hold on to each other's capes at the same time, right? So for today, we are going to show some progress that we have as an accelerator community as a whole. Again, one of the benefits of us doing this is that we are navigating these this journey together and providing support along the way. That we are holding each other accountable for meeting those milestones and asking for help when we get stuck or when we need a little some additional guidance. We do have some updates to share about office hours and how to access recordings and other things that we've updated within some of the deliverables. This is based on your feedback, and some of it are some new things that we've learned needed to be incorporated into our guidance. We have some upcoming sessions we want to make sure is on your calendar. And that you are ready to participate in. We also have an opportunity to try out some of the work that you've already been doing, to talk about your offerings, to start shaping your current thinking around how you position your offerings, your business, your capabilities. And then we'll have some general Q&A that we can certainly go through the chat, as well as invite you to come on stage to share a little conversation with me along the way. So just be ready to do this. This the way this works, the way we can make this the most engaging is by making it as interactive as possible. I think that's what keeps us sort of engaged and also the wheels turning. Somebody might ask the question in a way that finally creates a breakthrough for you. Or maybe they've experienced a breakthrough that we worthy of sharing with all of you, and generating even more ideas and more perspective. So please participate. Oh, and I see Bill has shared with all of us Chaitra in the news. So yes, thank you for doing that, Bill. Um, she's definitely got a lot of momentum she's trying to build up for this work, and so would appreciate all of your support and also advocating and sharing in ways that are comfortable for you. All right, so let's talk about our check-in today, and this is an interactive piece because we want to know how you're doing right now. There is there we've already captured some perspectives. That's what's shared here on the slide. There are several people that are saying yes, in the continuum of where I'm at. One, two, three. Where are you with? Yes, I am there. I am moving along. I feel good about my progress. I feel good. I am on track. I'd love for you to sort of put those indicators in the chat. Um, Two would mean that, okay, I've got some progress, but I know it could be better. Maybe I'd grade myself a C, low B in how I'm moving along. And it's okay. No judgment, no judgment, right? That's not what we're here for. This is about support. And then three is, okay, I'm a little stuck. or I'm a little anxious about, how I'm moving forward and where I am in my progress. So would love to, sort of get that perspective out there too, because there might be some things that we should be going back and unlocking, and doing differently to help you along. All right, so I'd love to use this as a little bit of a live check-in. If I could get some volunteers. So for those, there's a couple of people who said 1 and 2. If we could maybe invite you to have a little conversation with me. Let's see. How about maybe some folks? How about Kathy? Kathy Durfee, would you mind joining the stage with me? And then let's see who else we have on here. Maybe let's get Lisa Simpkins on, and then let me see if I can find somebody with a 2. Actually, let's do Carol too, since you have a 2-3 feedback here. Kathy, Carolina will join you. We'll bring you to the stage. So if you could just be patient with us while we find you in the participation list. Bill, I think you're going to win the gift game. Let me let me see if I have a 2 in here. How about Lynn Kilpatrick as well? Well, Charlene, well, hello.
Hello.
So where did you assess yourself this week?
Mid mouthful. I gave myself a 1 with a few blocks that I'm hoping to unblock today,
Okay.
and usually it's from listening to other folks' questions. So I'm a non tech founder that has an amazing solution, and I think I've taken it as far as I can
Yep.
in this moment. And I'm curious what else needs to be done to be ready for next steps.
Yep.
So I'm really just listening to learn what that partnership looks like and what's my role and
Yep.
where do pieces come together. So
Yeah. So where did you rank yourself? 1, 2, 3.
I gave myself a 1
Okay.
because I'm very clear on the solution. I'm very clear on the narrative description. I'm very clear on the product that it fits with,
Okay.
the pain points. What I'm not clear of, and it's only because I have not walked through this process before, um, how far what is my role next, and where do I meet? Um, what's my role in terms of level of readiness? If
Yep. Yeah. Can I ask you? I'd love to learn a little bit more about the like where your mindset has been. So so when you started and where you're at now. Right. So talk about that and sort of what you did to sort of get yourself to this mindset that you're in now.
Yeah. So again, please know that I'm a non-tech founder, but I've been a Microsoft user for many, like 20 plus years. So I very much probably talk your customers' language for the most
Great.
part.
Great.
So when I first joined, I was absolutely like, oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong place.
Mm,
However, I actually don't feel like that anymore. And I don't follow the acronym tech talk sometimes. I get lost, but I've actually had someone in the group willing to meet with me and talk through some things, which helped. Um, and I think I am very representative of the folks that we're selling to be honest with you.
hmm
So now mindset wise is like, but what I do understand are the solutions needed and
Yes.
how to communicate those solutions. I might not have the
Yes.
right acronyms and understand all of the technology pieces, but I know what I know. Does
Oh
that make
yeah.
sense?
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, this is so good. So good, right? Like the first mindset is that you have the customer mindset, right? You're not trying to sort of make the tech fit the customer. Sorry, the customer fit the tech. It's the other way around. Amazing, right? So that's also, and then that kind of sort of firms your confidence in what you're doing because you are trying to do something that serves the customer, that gives value to the customer. And
Mhm.
so the templates and the things that you've utilized so far, which ones have been sort of valuable to you in this process?
They've all been like very helpful. I what I really appreciated was also the fact that samples were set out.
Mm, mhm,
Like I learned by kind of seeing what's been done, and so just having the ones that, yeah, just used a sample. But I mean, all of that kind of understanding the needs and the pain points, and that I feel quite comfortable with. Um, and just taking it right through to, can you actually describe the solution?
mm, mhm,
And the big moment for me was, because I don't like know all the bells and whistles of what's available. In the last week, I've found the exact product that I want to partner with, and that felt great. That was like I was running around with something, and I'm like, but we kept talking about Azure and different things, and I was like, I don't think that, I'm not sure. Like, but then I did find where I believe my partnership is, and that felt a lot, like, that
okay.
feels a lot better. It's like, okay, I see it, I know I go there.
Yeah. Love it, love it. Oh my god, such clarity. Doesn't that feel like such relief when you have that? Yeah. Wonderful. And I'll also say, just as a marketer, don't lose that customer perspective ever. Right? There is a tendency to try to use the language of the hyperscalers and that it has its purpose and it has its legacy, but this is about you. And you can disrupt and be innovative even in the way that you are creating the customer experience from the start. And as the founder, as the leader, you have to set that culture, you have to stay true to that. So good for you on that.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on stage again.
Yeah.
I know you did last time, so thank you.
Thank you.
And Lynn, hello.
Hi.
Well,
Hi.
and so where did you put yourself in the 1, 2, 3 here?
I put myself at 2.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a late starter, so I'm playing a little bit of catch up. I also am a non-tech founder,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm going through the templates, and I'm a little bit confused. I have a solution that solves more than one problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was thinking of, going into the marketplace, my thought is, well, they're going to want to sell my entire platform. There's sort of two subscription levels. One level solves part of a problem, the one problem, and the higher level subscription solves the bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
So in filling out the templates, it was really I was a little bit fuzzy about when it says just solving one problem. I don't feel like that's going to capture the entirety of what the application solves in terms
Mm-hmm.
of problems. So I'm a little stuck.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
um,
Yep. Yeah, this is good. It's actually good to get to kind of expose this pretty early on as you're going. We do recognize that there's going to be multiple things that you can address. I mean, that would be the ideal situation, is that you are able, with one solution or one capability, to be able to solve multiple problems. Maybe there's something in there around identifying distinct use cases, but you sort of elevate the problem statement differently, so that when you are taking it to market and describing it through a marketplace engine, there's a little bit more simplicity there that can then unpack the other use cases or the other scenarios that your solution could apply to. But if you had a prominent, right, something that is maybe it's not choosing, it's just sort of elevating the problem statement a little bit more. Have you thought
okay.
about something like that, taking that approach?
Yeah, the smaller solution or the smaller problem. Well, it's a common thread problem, but it's sort of embedded in the higher level solution.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm not sure whether it's better to just stick with, the simple solution, or kind of elevate it to capture all of the things that it does.
Mhm. Yeah, our so when we in our guidance, right? We're trying to challenge people to kind of get down to sort of mastery of one, because then you can sort of appropriately add the different spokes to it as you sort of define a customer set differently. But if you and to just sort of sit in that challenge a bit. Like, is it really, because if there is something pretty distinct there, then it might be worthy to have two different types of go to markets that are very distinct on their own. But to sort of sit in that for a minute and just see if there isn't something a little bit differently that it can be positioned in, or a customer type that could be defined, where it could sit in there as a sort of single message versus having to sort of bifurcate and kind of muddle your value prop too much. Um, but so maybe in our engagement as we go, as we sort of go through some of your content, we can help tease that out a little bit more in a roundtable or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so in it, and it's, I like the fact that you're kind of allowing yourself to sort of expose this a little bit more, because now you see that, okay, this might be a muddy situation in the future, right? We might be able to plow through it now, but maybe there will be a place where this is going to get a little funny later on, and you'll be prepared for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not familiar with these co-sell markets, so I really don't understand. I don't have a clear understanding of what the role of the person is. I mean,
Mhm.
in my head, I sort of think that they're going to be trying to understand what the application does,
Mhm.
but this limits them to just a very small component of the application.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure how they articulate what the application is really capable of if I just focus on one of the simple problems that it solves. So
Mhm.
that's just sort of my you know fog at this point.
Okay. Okay. No, this is
Yeah,
great. These are great things for us to do some follow up in explorations with. And there might be a way that you've answered the templates that could, we maybe unpack down a little bit further, so that we can get to more of that clarity. So,
great.
but thank you for sharing, and that's a legitimate reason to sort of put yourself in the two.
Yeah, very good. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, one more. So someone who's identified as a three. Let me scroll down here. How about Pamela? I can see you come up here. Hey, Pamela.
Hey, Karen, how's it going?
Doing good. Good to see you here.
Same here.
All
Well, thank you
right.
so much for picking my three. I'm here to be vulnerable. So
Love it.
for so for me, I have a pretty unique. Well, I have a unique product. It's a proprietary software that I'm designing for the trucking industry. So I believe my industry vertical is manufacturing. With that opportunity, there's a boatload of data that has been collected. And so my first attempt at an offer was through the Microsoft Fabric
Mhm.
product. So I identified that as my product to support my offering. But similar to Lynn, then that leaves my proprietary software that supports the manufacturing component kind of left out there. So I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
yeah, I'm in a bit of a pickle. So I am diligently working on the go to market co selling. And this is probably one of those components that if I had a perfect roadmap, I started out with the offer, and then now the offer didn't necessarily fit. So now I'm moving on to the co-selling, but I think I need to go back to my trucking offer. So
mhm.
I'm in a
Right.
bit
So,
of a pickle.
is it? I just want to make sure I'm hearing you. So, you had your you have a solution that, while you were trying to get it to fit the trucking industry or trucking
Yes.
customer, you're finding that it's not quite landing well for that market.
Yes, and
Mhm.
so yes, and from that particular development, there was additional opportunity where the customer said, "Hey, I've got all this data, and we're trying to make sense of it." So
Mm.
from that, that became an additional offer, if you will. So
Yep.
one that I could get into the marketplace a little sooner than my original proprietary offering,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. So in
Mhm.
pursuing that, I've now shifted to trying to come up with the co-sell marketing materials based on that Microsoft Fabric
Mhm.
product.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So, got it. So it actually enabled you to kind of think of another space
Yes,
that's broader than the trucking customer you were
exactly.
initially. Okay, it's actually not a bad problem to have. I
So you
mean,
say.
and I know, like you've got yours, and this is where I would say a mindset thing is also important because this is a pivotal decision point. You clearly have expertise in the trucking space. That's a passion area. You're passionate about that customer.
Yes,
But now you've got this new opportunity that's coming forward, and there's a caution that it might take you away from that initial customer that you absolutely want to serve and that you do see opportunity in.
right.
While because when you're smaller, you can't do all things. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so maybe something to think about is there another way to get these opportunities done through partnerships, um, or through other stages of how you start evolving your business, instead of it sort of happening simultaneously? um, Especially if you really size the market and you sort of size where Microsoft, as your co-sell partner, is really looking to explore. Is there maybe some other way of getting that service done that can allow you to scale and do the work while you're also getting very clear about the use cases in the trucking customer segment that you're really passionate about?
Absolutely, and you're spot on, Karen. I believe with the right partnership, there's the opportunity for virtual machine, for cloud storage, in addition to the reporting aspect from a Power BI. So there's a wealth of opportunity there. My struggle is how do I build those bill of materials around this opportunity? And so
Yep.
that's where I'm in a I, my head's
Yep.
exploding.
Yep. Yep. Another thing that came to mind for me is, that like, is this a segment that you could potentially sort of pitch to other data suppliers that haven't thought about the segment, right? And size it as, here's a unique customer opportunity. I see several, hundreds of millions of dollars of opportunity here that you could be designing the go to market for their offering to tap into, and you have some kind of guidance there to offer in terms of the types of data insights, the types of capabilities that this unique customer segment needs. So that way you kind of get it. You're able to serve the customer that you're very passionate about, that you have deep expertise in, um,
Yes.
and not have to sort of be all in on your own to do
Yes.
it.
I love
So
that. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, so and we'll talk more, Pamela. We know each other. We'll I love your space, and I love that, you're in it, because this isn't something that Microsoft is really tapping into as a direct customer scenario. This is what the power of partnership is. You are exploring a space that is in high need of innovation. They clearly
Yes,
have a lot of investments coming in. All this, and it might be just something that is just outside of their general radar of how they think about go to market.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, yes, thank you for helping with that. And I'm open, team, on the call. If anyone has any innovative ideas around partnering to service this opportunity,
Yeah. And also, like, maybe that's an opportunity to host a little roundtable with the peer groups here about, like, teach them about the trucking industry and what's going on there. There's all kinds of adjacent opportunities that would be in that space of transportation.
absolutely. There's a boatload of opportunity. So, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah, thank you. All right, everyone. So I have a feeling some of you probably have been nodding heads and going, "Yep, I feel that. This is the tricky part." There's nothing wrong with sort of feeling like you're advancing to the one and suddenly a drop back to a three because you have some new insights that you've uncovered through this process and through conversations. So, just feel good about where you're at, the fact that you know now, and that you also have a cohort of support to tap into as well. And I love the conversations that are happening in the chat, the connections that are being made. Sounds like Pamela and others, you've got people that want a conversation with you. So let's make that happen, everyone. All right, let's go on to the next slide, please. Okay, a couple of updates. Um, the there's been just some clarification on access to the different office hour recordings because I know there's been a lot of interest in them, particularly if you've missed an office hours. And the adjustment to the access, we want to just make sure everyone is very clear on. We are very respectful of the fact that people are sharing some things about their businesses and about where they are in this journey, with a lot of transparency, which we really appreciate. And so, for that reason, we are keeping the access to the office hours for those that are participating in the office hours. Um, and so that means that please participate in the office hours so you can also have access to those resources, but also you can be a part of this kind of scale coaching that is part of the value prop of this whole thing. So I hope you can understand the reason for it and also why it's important that we preserve that confidentiality and privacy for those that are actively participating. There's been a request for us to add some additional times for our dear friends in other regions, and we are going to do that. We're not going to be shifting the office hours that are currently in place, but there is an additional office hours that we will accommodate for the EMEA Asia regions. So stay tuned on when those will be brought online. We'll be doing that in partnership with Microsoft to provide for all of you. Um, the other thing is around team participation. So we just want to create some clarification here as well. You and two more people from your teams have access to this accelerator. We thought that that was a really great provision that Microsoft has provided as a part of this programming. So please let us know the two additional people from your teams that you would like to have participate in this accelerator program. And just feel free to reach out to Jennifer and others in the chat. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer, for providing that participant sheet. Please fill that in so that we can get two more people from your organization to also participate in this accelerator with you. They'll have access to the same resources. They'll be able to participate in the office hours. There might be something that you'd want to do to divide and conquer here, especially when you move forward into the sales part of this coaching accelerator offering. Right now, we're in the go-to-market side. Eventually, in a week or so, you'll be moved over. You'll be invited to participate on the sales side too with the App Meetup team. If you want to send your seller into that part of the accelerator, you are absolutely welcome to do so. So we do have some progress made on the concierge desk service from Microsoft and the ISV Success Access. They will be making all of that available to you shortly. We just provided all of the information to them so that they can start activating that. What that means is Microsoft will start sending you communications. They will, so please be on the lookout for that. They are going to be inviting you to participate in some consulting services directly with them. And those services help you get access to Partner Center, different benefits. They help you with accessing any data insights that they have available for you. Some of you are probably already activated on a tool set known as Cloud Ascent. This is where you get some really rich insights on your customers and how you can start planning for your renewals and upsell expansion opportunities, connecting them to the different go to markets that sales plays that Microsoft has available. That's what this engine does. Helps you activate benefits. So it's provided from Microsoft, their support services. Their program leaders are driving that, and we were just very grateful to Regina for making that available to this accelerator cohort. So please pay attention to those emails. Please respond to them, and then we can get you going in that. All right. So the last thing was about one-on-one coaching. I think we've mentioned this before, but the one-on-one coaching, unfortunately, is not directly available through this program. That's why we're doing everything at this one-to-many scale. But there are a couple of options for you to choose from if you need help with getting activated in all those different resources. There's certainly the work that you're doing right now, doing it yourself and sort of getting the guidance in the community and through FAQs and other things that we're able to do to move to help you move along in your journey. Mela is making an offering, a coaching offering available at a 10% discount for those of you that are a part of this accelerator today. And then, we can certainly make recommendations of other consultants that we know of that are in this space and can certainly make referrals for you as well. So there are several options available, and there's a link to being able to get activated on the Mela offering in the slides below. I think Jennifer, if you could post that, actually it's there in the chat. Jennifer just surfaced it. If you want to sort of hire Mela consultants to help you, and I'm certainly a part of that activity as well. All right, so let's go to the next slide. All right. The next thing is just what's next for you, right? There is a new masterclass that's being held tomorrow, and Chaitra, our faithful leader, will be leading this one. And it is about designing your co-sell GTM plays and investment plan. So much stuff is in here. In that, it's going to be a rapid one. It's going to be very deep, and it will give you sort of that master playbook of how to think about your investment strategy related to your go to market. So you're doing all the work now to kind of get yourself into a new way of thinking, understand your customer a little deeper, challenge yourself with, how you've been doing things today and where you need to go next. But now how do you bring it all together in a cohesive way that makes sense to a hyperscaler that you're partnering with, that sort of maps to their model of engagement and then sorts out the different ways to invest in that through either benefits that are currently available to you or other engines of support that you have access to. So definitely encourage you to join that one. You should hopefully have this on your calendar. Please let us know if you need us to put that. Give you the information for registration and connection on that, and we'll definitely see you tomorrow, same time. All right, next slide. All right. So one of the I think genius parts of what Chaitra and team have put together is this 12-week game plan outline, a la Airtable, and it's just a nice way to sort of see the package of stuff that's available to you and that needs to be sort of completed and understood each week of this program. There have been a couple of things that have been updated in here for your convenience, such as the policy updates related to some of the office hour resources, the things that need to be submitted. There is submission of things that are due every week. And that helps us to see where things are getting stuck, what things that we need to do to bring in for more support, and also informs the community. Like, how is the community moving along in this journey that we've built together for go to market? So please be sure to complete those things within the timelines we've subscribed here. And also access the resources very easily from this 12-week game plan as you go. So you always know where you're at. We know where you're at, and we can sort of celebrate those milestones as we move along. Okay, next slide. All right. So this is the fun part because next Friday, there is an opportunity for at least 5 people within our community to kind of really sort of get the work, make the work real, right? Um, and that's developing your 2-minute pitch, the 2-minute pitch on how you are thinking about your offering now. Um, it is intended to leverage 3 of the core worksheets that you've been exposed to, have been using: the solution credo, the solution narrative, the offer definition. We are not expecting big decks or demos in this. It's a 2-minute pitch. Think very Shark Tank like in the approach. And this is where you'll have a chance to have some practice and some coaching, some live coaching on your pitch. So I think a very valuable experience, and it's a little nerve wracking being on stage and having to sort of put your thoughts out there in the world. But this is how it starts, right? This is how we learn, and this is how we get practice. And there's some sweeteners in there. There's prizes for those that are doing it. It's not a popular, you know, a, popularity contest of any means, but it is something that we want to use as a incentive to kind of get the milestones met, and also invite people to just take their accelerator experience to the next level. And so we definitely invite you to do that. And that is going to be next Friday at our next office hours. So we're looking for a minimum of 5 people. I'd love to be able to say we've got to expand our office hours because we've got so many to work with. And Jennifer has posted in the chat the link to where to submit your information so we can put you into the opportunity for this pitch office hours and work with us on that. So I think what I'd love to do in the meantime for people that have, feel like they've got a pitch that they'd love to test out, I'd love to invite one or two people to do that today. While you're thinking about that, I wanted to share an example of Mela's co-sell GTM offering. Now, this is, as you can see, it's very basic. It's narrative style. And it basically is their way of describing how they have built their co-sell GTM offer, and something that they have actually put into the marketplace as an event SaaS GTM play strategy. So the first is starting off with the problem statement, right? Like, are you aware that 90% of the time Microsoft partners are struggling to create a co-sell GTM strategy? Surprise, surprise. And acknowledging that there's obstacles with the lack of knowledge, the absence of necessary resources, understanding what Microsoft is doing from a marketing perspective on an active basis. And so the solution is Microsoft is creating a co-sell GTM Mela is creating a co-sell GTM readiness solution for top tech corporation leaders, empowering them to utilize Microsoft marketplaces as a new revenue stream and grow their businesses with the assistance of fractional co-sell GTM experts, which is what you are experiencing today. They offer solutions in GTM leadership, ramp to revenue consultations, and I love this, done for you GTM systems. So these are all things that clearly resonate with the leaders and the target audience that this offering is trying to hit. And then there would be something here that would direct them to the marketplace in order to sort of transact and start taking advantage of this offering. That's how simple it is. That's the kind of thing we're looking for in this two minute pitch opportunity that we're extending to all of you. So I'll ask maybe really quickly, is there anyone that feels compelled or ready to share their 2-minute pitch today for some live real-time feedback? Let me see if there's anyone here that wants to raise their hand. Monica, hello.
Hello, how are
Love
you?
that. I love that you're ready to take this next level. Let's do this.
Thank you. My solution is Rise Health. So, Rise Health is a comprehensive software as a service application designed to address the pressing challenges within the healthcare industry. Our platform empowers healthcare organizations to enhance patient care delivery, promote health equity, and engage in meaningful community outreach initiatives. With Rise Health Compass, clients can gain access to a curated directory of diverse healthcare providers, comprehensive chronic disease management functionality, personalized patient navigation tools, and seamless integration with wearable technology. By leveraging our platform, organizations can optimize operational efficiency, reduce costs, and ultimately improve health outcomes for the diverse populations they serve.
Woo. Wow, that's really good. That was great narrative. So I heard healthcare, enhancing patient experience, enabling equity, community access.
Yes.
Claire, Claire, Claire. That is so good. So so is this a new pitch?
This is a new pitch for me, and one that I have been utilizing all the templates for, because this is going to be something that we elevate our current offering that we have within the healthcare industry for our founders, and now bringing this to a more wide appeal market.
Love it. Love it. That's great. So what was the difference between what you had before and now?
So before we were really focusing on more one-to-one relationships with
Mm,
vendors, and now what we're doing is now building something that's scalable, not just here in the North America business unit, but something that is applicable across the EMEA, Asia Pacific, and Latin America business units. Because what we do know is that the leading killer for individuals across the world continues to be heart-related diseases. And so we want to make sure that we use North America as our testing pilot, and then learn the best practices and wins from North America, and then scale it to our Singapore and London offices in the next 2 years.
awesome. So if and just maybe just something to think about. You don't have to answer now. It's bringing that up is sort of the heart health aspect, which is something that is sort of it feels like it's the common denominator across your growth strategy. If there's something that you can bring up in your initial pitch or value prop around that, like usually something that says like, what's the challenge, right?
Mhm.
90% of or 70% of, and that's why we've built this our systems to be focused on that. If that is intended to be your sort of niche approach or your first line of go to market into those customer segments.
That's great feedback, and certainly we will lead with that a catchy statistic in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And then, a lot of the creativity in your go to market could center around those scenarios or even in your design of your digital experience because it is a big part of how you're defining your segment.
Yes. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Karen. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks Monica. Thanks for being the first.
Absolutely.
And Jennifer, we got to put Monica in the thing for prizes. Let's just add that. Let's just add her right in that list.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so much. All right, Anita, let's go with you. And Charlene, I'm just loving you coming on stage like this. Thank you. All right, Anita.
Thank you. Boy, Monica, you were fantastic. So I'm Anita Darden Gardine. I'm the CEO at Oniva. At Oniva, we have the Oniva Me app, which connects employees at great companies like Microsoft and Genentech to the elder care, mental health services, infant care, and other services that employees need to be able to go to work. Because our technology is an app built with Microsoft Copilot, as well as AI, as well as Azure, we're able to create fast, riskless connections between those who need access to care and on a repeat and ongoing basis. That means whether you're that Microsoft employee that needs elder care for your mom or dad at their home, you can order it through our app. Or if you're that physician who has a patient who needs care, transport to bring that customer home, our app can solve that for you. I am Anita Darton Gardine. You can learn more about me at oniva.com, and I look forward to getting feedback. Thank you.
Woof. Really good. What an important use case
Thank you.
to address because we do understand the challenges in the workplace and these issues are getting more and more real and impactful all the time. I heard three things, which is that you are leveraging Copilot. So that kind of demonstrates your cutting edge sort of capability, that you're creating fast, riskless connection, and that you are, enabling access to care. Those were sort of three value props that I heard. I love that your start of it is about. I know that you sort of talk about employees like Microsoft and I think it was Genesis,
Genentech, yeah,
Genentech.
existing customers.
Yep. were you describing that as an example of existing customers that you have?
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay, that's interesting. So maybe what you're actually describing is enterprise, right? Enterprise capabilities for employee empowerment or employee something around that.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and that maybe there's also something to include in your storyline that talks about the size of the opportunity or the size of the issue.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
I'm feeling it, so I'm with you all the way. You don't need to convince me. I'm in that middle of right doing all that, all those things. But like to kind of bring it into the context of business opportunity, but also sort of the size of the market that you understand,
Mhm.
or the growth of this opportunity going. Like you could say things like trends look like it's growing to this,
Mhm.
right? And companies that have integrated this have this kind of success, or something that kind of brings
Love
up those value
it.
points.
Love it. The other thing I want to do a better job at is it's great that we've got these big customers. Right now, it's
Mm,
SMB marketplace. So we do have some small guys. I don't want to mention their names, but I do want to say we want to give that SMB the opportunity to offer the same benefits or same access as those big guys because they got to
mhm,
compete for talent too. And
mhm.
that's something that was missing from my pitch that I would make to, again focused on the customer and the Azure marketplace.
Well, maybe the I mean, one of the challenges of this accelerator is that you are trying to get yourself to a point of view, right?
Mhm.
And what I'm hearing is your point of view is at the enterprise, and there's nothing wrong with sort of saying in follow up, maybe not in your initial pitch, but your follow up that says that something to the effect of your scalability or your agility,
Okay.
because you do have an offering that can serve more than just the enterprise, but you absolutely are coming in with the enterprise expertise,
Yeah, thank you.
proven expertise. All right, Anita, right on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks for allowing Ariel to join me. She's marketing. So this feedback translates into real documentation and moves us forward for the marketplace. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks for joining, Ariel. All right, Charlene. Yeah, come on up.
All
Love it.
right, here we go. Okay. So my name is Charlene Sinjeko, and I've been a social impact entrepreneur for more than 20 years. I'm an Indigenous storyteller, and I really believe in the value of being able to use media and technology to mirror back to people their potential and their greatness. So you can't imagine how ecstatic I was when I learned about the new set of Viva products that Microsoft has, with a special focus on Amplify. As a communicator, Powerhouse has utilized an Amplify program for many years, and now we would like to offer it as a value add solution for leaders in people strategy, talent success, leadership development, and employee engagement. So what do I mean by a value proposition, and how are we a value add? Well, this is a modern work solution that recognizes, celebrates, and lifts historically under-recognized leaders and emerging leaders in the workplace, while providing modern work solutions in employee engagement and human-centric performance tracking through a lens of care. It's in human language. It's I see you, I see the progress you're making, I'm recognizing it, and I'm going to share it back with our team, with the broader network that we're associated with at the level that you feel comfortable. I've worked with hundreds of women, and the first people that they want to communicate their progress to is their own executive team, and they just struggle with a way to do that. So we're working on an escalator that moves up and down. Here's the differentiator. Amplify, the Powerhouse Amplify, marries a proven process in human-centric performance amplification with the very best digital practices in strength-based storytelling that is born through an Indigenous lens. So we track, record, and recognize progress in real time and celebrate potential as it unfolds in a rhythmic, seasonal basis. And then we mirror it back to your employees so they can see it for themselves. It's celebrating greatness as it unfolds. It's developed by the Powerhouse Impact Network, which is my first company, an Indigenous organization, and it's women-led. And we've been involved with empowerment and advocacy for over 2 decades. And I'm really excited to try to figure out how to make this partnership work.
Okay. All right. So Charlene, love it. Love this is very intriguing, right? To kind of bring in this cultural perspective into a way of creating employee engagement. So I'll say that there's a lot here that you've put into your pitch. And I think there's a little bit more editing that we need to do because I think there's some things that came at the end that I probably would have brought to the beginning. Um, and also like there's a lot there around your focus is around helping to create space for diversity in the enterprise and to have performance evaluated with a broader context and to also have it communicated in a way that lands authentically within these different cultural representations. That's what I'm hearing. So tell me please correct me on that. The other, and I think that that's really powerful because you're taking some baseline technology that is being accessible and embedded in many different aspects of Microsoft technologies and saying there's a way for you to leverage that can be that can leverage the powerful approach that comes from indigenous community. Because I think what happens when you start it out is it starts to kind of create the niche at the beginning, and that's not what you're saying. You're saying that there's an approach in how we celebrate and do things as people reach milestones and have different ways of engaging that actually expose the creativity of that cultural perspective within a performance-based language that enterprises already understand and do. So there's maybe something there. I'm really sort of excited to help work with you on that one because I think I'd say that maybe actually what I was thinking about as you were talking was what if you opened it up with questions, right? And because you're
Mm.
trying to open up an imagination here, it's like we're missing out when we're only scorecard based, right?
Yeah,
What if you could unlock all this insight through a practice that has been culturally embedded in indigenous communities for centuries? Oh, that's something new. Okay, tell me more. Something like that.
I love it. Yeah, thank you. I'm like trying madly writing because I'm like, oh gosh, so many good things that you said. Thank you.
Hey, this is recorded, so
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome.
repeat and like watch all my I move my hands a lot, so
Thank you.
oh
Thanks,
my God,
Karen.
I am so in love with you guys doing this with us and being brave to share this and being vulnerable. And I just love it. I'm having so much fun. I get so inspired hearing your stories and everything that you're doing. And if I can offer some of what I've learned over the years, 24 years at Microsoft, please take it. Take it. It's all yours. Um, so we're actually considerably past time. I hope you enjoyed that segment. Let me just move on to a couple of slides really quickly, and then we'll take a break and get back into the lounge. So if we could get the slides advanced, please. All right, so we're not going to have time for this just yet, but I'm sure there's questions in the chat that I missed that we'll go back in and recap and make sure it gets back out into the community. Apologies for that. I hope the pitch sessions that we did were very valuable for you. And then let's please get connected through the Mighty Network and also through our support with Jennifer to get all your questions answered and asked, and so we can answer them. Please fill in the survey, please, please, please. That helps us to understand where we're at and how we're doing, and if there's more that we should be doing, or if there's different ways that you're thinking we could be supporting you better. We really appreciate you providing that feedback. We'd love to have those from you by tomorrow. And next slide, please. And then please tell us, how do you think the experience is going so far? And it's okay. We're not looking for smile sheets. We are looking for your perspective on how things are going. So please tell us. One, you need some help. beating the inertia that you're experiencing right now with all that's going on. And 10, your empowerment is off the rails. You feel very confident that you will be reaching your goals, and certainly being the goals of this accelerator. Right on. And thank you, Kate, for that. Yep. Sounds good. Well, we are midway through, so it makes sense that we're sort of at this stage too as well. So please, thank you for all of that feedback. We certainly want to make sure we keep the momentum high and that we're offering as much value to this experience as we can. All right, wonderful. All right, with that, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll look to see you tomorrow at the next masterclass with Chaitra, and let's celebrate her as she's doing her thing on behalf of all of us. And then we'll see you at the next office hours. Thanks, everybody.